Hi, I'm Chris Gilpin and I'm here to answer your questions on behaviour management. What do you do when a class just won't stop talking? And that's from Mary Kay. If you have a class that just won't stop talking, there are a few things that you can do. They might not work first time. Some of these might take a long time to embed with a class, but I've never had a strategy for getting class to be quiet that hasn't eventually worked. Sometimes the simplest methods are the best. 3, 2, 1, and silence. Now, I know that seems pretty straightforward and a little bit obvious, but it really does work. Most of your students want to be quiet and want to listen to you when you're talking. It's only a few that will push their luck. When it's not an entire class and when it is just a few students, then you can deal with those few students. It's very difficult when you have an entire class to try and behaviour manage all of them at once. It's just, well, I would say impossible. So what you're looking at doing with your strategy is just try and get the bulk of the class, the majority, on board. Now with 3, 2, 1 silence, or 3, 2, 1 without the silence, it gives them a visual cue that you're standing up the front with your fingers up in the air, and they'll remember that from lesson to lesson. That's the teacher that puts 3 fingers up. It also gives them time to stop their conversations. Now sometimes it's quite frustrating for students just to suddenly stop. Now, yes, they should be talking about their work, but even if they're not, they need some time just to finish off the words that they're saying. It also gives some time for the majority of the class just to notice that something's going on. Oh, right, so, or Miss wants us to stop talking, and it gives them time to adjust. Some teachers start at 10, some teachers start at 5. It doesn't matter. For me, 3 seconds is normally enough. If the class are quite rowdy, and I think, oh god, they're not going to do 3 seconds, I just increase the intervals. So 3, 2, 1, etc. I can also occasionally put some words in the middle. I don't like being negative with students. So for instance, 3, oi, you're still not silent, or what, and you 2, oh, you're not. I try and focus on positives where I can. If there is someone who's clearly not going to talk, I just make sure I get their attention. And you can do that with your eyes, you can do that with your placement in the room. So I will stand next to, or stand on their row. You always want to be standing at the front when you want everyone's attention. If you're behind them, then it's very difficult for them to know that you want their attention. But you have, different sides of the room that you can stand, and sometimes that's effective. So 3, 2, 1, and I'm ready to begin. Now, first time you do this, they won't be silent first of all. So what you need to be thinking about is how you're going to get the silence. Again, it doesn't work just having a go at them, unless you're that type of teacher, and there are some, but if you're that type of teacher that can get silence on demand, then you probably aren't going to be watching this video. Now, for me, the first time I have a group, 3, 2, I explain it to them first. Right, I'm going to count down from 3 every time I want you to stop talking. And I say to them, it's so you can finish your conversation, so that they realise that I'm doing them a favour by allowing them some time to adjust, allowing them some time to just finish off their conversation and then listen to me. And there's a sort of transition time in there. So they realise that it's doing them a favour, that I'm not just stopping it instantly without any sort of any indication. So that's the first thing I do. When I get to the silence, when I get to the 0 on the first lesson, I will stand up the front. Now, obviously, do never ever speak or teach when they're talking. There's just no point. And as soon as you do that once, they remember it. And trust me, they do. And they'll just carry on talking over you in later lessons. You need to just wait, give time to adjust. Depending on the group, will sometimes say, oh, good, excellent. Almost everyone stopped talking. So let's try that again. 3, 2, 1, silence. And then that gives them sort of a bit of praise for doing it, instead of picking out the people who aren't. And that's really important, not to go around picking out the people who aren't. With other groups, I will be looking at highlighting those people, but without highlighting those people. So instead of going, Sam, Charlie, Diane, why are you talking? I will say, oh, that's a shame, 3 people are still talking. Right, let's try that again and let's see if we can get 0. Now, that almost sounds like it's a game, and it's really important that there's that distinction in the student's mind that it's not a game, it's not a competition to see, but also you want it to be quite informal. You don't want it to be a challenge for them to talk over you. So by highlighting the fact there's 3 students, everyone in the room knows who the 3 are, the 3 know who they are, but the 3 don't also know 100% that you're talking about them. And if they start an argument like, oh, I was just asking for a pen, then you go, oh, I didn't even know you were talking. It was a different 3 I was talking about, or whatever. And again, lying to students is not necessarily the best approach, but it gives you that get out clause, and most students aren't going to admit to the fact that they were talking. So it's finding ways to deal with the behaviour without targeting the students, and that's not an easy thing to do. Now, some teachers that I observe say, right, okay, I'm adding on any minutes from now at the end of the lesson. I'm not a fan of classroom punishments. I don't think they work. I think they're unfair. I think they also alienate the students that are doing what you want. And this is definitely a game where you want to get the majority of your students on side. You won't ever get, or you very rarely get, everyone on side in your first lesson. Some students, it will take time, and it will take an awful lot of time, and it will involve talking to parents, talking to form tutors, talking to head of years, or whatever around that student, and it will take an awful lot of time with that student to make them realise that you're not going away, that you have expectations and you expect them to follow it. So you're aiming to get the bulk on board, so adding minutes on for everyone is just annoying everyone, and it doesn't necessarily accomplish what you want. I have never kept a class back unless there's a very, very good reason, stuff being stolen or whatnot, where you sort of say to them, look, sorry guys, I have to keep you because this thing's missing, or whatever it is. And then I'm sort of saying to them, I'm actually regretting keeping most of you here, but I have to, and that's what we have to do. And most of them will understand that and go, okay, well, fair enough, sir or miss has to keep me behind, and I can understand why. It's annoying, but sir or miss aren't the normal type to keep us behind for no reason. So I think if you focus on what strategy you want to take, I think that's going to be an incredibly effective way, as long as you realise it doesn't happen overnight, and as long as you're prepared for it to take time. One other thing I'll share with you, if you're a secondary school or upper school teacher or a middle school teacher, try just putting your hand up. Now, this doesn't work everywhere in the country, but in primary schools, and well done primary schools, because I've been into a lot of primary schools, and wow, behaviour management in primary schools, in an awful lot of them, is so much better than when the students get older. Just try putting your hand up at the front of the class. Don't say anything, just try putting your hand up. And most of the students, if you're in an area where the primaries do this, will also put their hand up, and they know to be silent. And some of the primary schools in the areas I've taught haven't done that, but students go, oh, why is he putting his hand up? Oh, I'm going to put my hand up as well. And so there's a behaviour strategy that you don't even have to practice with them, they already know. Now, when they get a bit older, middle school, secondary school, upper schools, you probably don't want them to be trained in year 11, year 12, year 13 to be doing this. But it can break the ice straight away if you're struggling with a year 7 set with something they already know and something they can adjust. So just try it in your lesson and see what happens. If nothing happens, if none of them put their hand up, then go, right, okay, I just want you to stop guys, or 3, 2, 1, or whatever strategy you take. I hope that helps. If you've got any follow-up questions, please go to the website and message me. Thank you very much.